You know, some days I really hope that a pipe-smoking wizard will ride in on Shadowfax and save us from whatever the hell technology, like Palantir, is doing to us these days. It's frightening. Because I want to talk to you about this company, and you may not know a lot about them. You may have heard their name, but you may not know what they do. Because unlike Meta or Google or Amazon, this company has been designed to not be thought about. They don't need your clicks. They don't need your attention. Why? Because they already have everything else. And the company is called Palantir. They pop up in the news, and they've got some stories here and there, and then we forget all about them. And they just so happen to be one of Donald Trump's favorite companies. Which also means they are making a crap ton of money right now, especially on government contracts. Palantir, they're worth about $200 billion. And their CEO is a man named Alex Karp, who once gave a speech at Davos where he said that Palantir's goal is to make the West win, and that people who disagree are enemies. And the co-founder and the largest individual shareholder is Peter Thiel, the gay libertarian billionaire who gave a speech in Rome earlier this year describing himself as something of a theologian, who funded the Gawker lawsuit that destroyed Gawker, who backed J.D. Vance, and who most recently declared that the future belongs to neurodivergent trade workers, which is a sentence that only makes sense if you understand that Peter Thiel has been building a surveillance empire for 20 years and wants you to feel good about that. And as someone that is quite neurospicy myself, for the record, I do not feel good about Peter Thiel or Palantir. So what exactly does Palantir do? They build data analysis platforms for the government, for intelligence agencies specifically. They started with the CIA and the NSA right after 9/11. Sounds like the perfect villain origin story. And their original product was called Gotham, and we know that Gotham is a city of shadow. But Palantirs in Lord of the Rings are those seeing stones that let you spy on anyone anywhere. And they'll also drive you insane if you look into them too long. Sorry, Pippin. Think about that. This company named their products after Tolkien's surveillance instruments that were utilized by Sauron, Denethor, Saruman, the really crappy dudes, just like Donald Trump. They are not being subtle about their goals. And it's important to note that Palantir is the primary technology infrastructure for ICE, for their deportation operations. Their software is called Immigration OS. I'm not making that up. That's the actual product name. And it aggregates data, probably illegally, from the IRS, Social Security, your utility companies, your medical records, license plate cameras, and social media to build profiles on undocumented people and track their movements. All the ICE raids you've seen, the airports, the courthouses, the churches, all of it. The data trails that led agents there came from this software. And this software, that infrastructure, a large portion of it, came from Palantir. That makes Trump giddy. And now they are also running an IRS program to hunt high-value tax cheats. And that sounds fine, sounds like a good thing, until you realize that this is the same company that is tracking undocumented people. And now they have access to your tax records. And there's no wall between all of that data. And how do we know that there's no wall there? It's because DOGE already accessed the Palantir Mega API that connects federal agency data. They are in the Pentagon as a primary AI warfare system, what the military calls a program of record, meaning they are the official warfare platform of the government. They're in the NHS in the UK. They're in New York hospitals. They've got an expansion deal with Stellantis, a car company that makes Jeep and Ram. They're in state pension funds all across the country, which means the workers whose retirements are invested there are funding the company that is building this surveillance infrastructure. And like I said, meanwhile, Palantir CEO just said publicly that only two kinds of people will succeed in the AI era: trade workers and the neurodivergent. By the way, the Palantir, they launched the Neurodivergent Fellowship, ring not included, as a recruitment pathway for exceptional neurodivergent talent. Why? Because the way that neurospicy folks think make them better at problem solving in the AI era. And Palantir wants to take advantage of that. Yet their CEO didn't mention the millions of people whose personal data his company has aggregated without their knowledge or consent. He didn't mention that the company pays zero federal taxes due to their compensation write-offs in the stock exchange under Trump's own tax laws. $0. This is the company that's building infrastructure to catch tax cheats, and they are paying zero taxes. And look, we do not have the ability to cast Palantir into the fires of Mount Doom. And I know it sounds like a bad movie. It's not a movie. The conservatives who have spent a decade screaming about the globalists and the New World Order and government surveillance states, the ones with the Gadsden flags and the Don't Tread on Me bumper stickers, have now handed their Trump-run government to a man whose company is building the most comprehensive government surveillance architecture in global history. Processing data from the IRS, ICE, the military, the NHS, hospitals, and car manufacturers, and who knows what else. Did anyone vote for this? Did anyone ask for this? Did you or I get to weigh in on whether this private company, co-founded by a billionaire with a theology complex, should have access to this much data about this many people? I sure didn't. And if you want to hear more about stories like this, it is so important that you subscribe and share, because this is the stuff the algorithm hates. And we want you to keep seeing these stories.